Hey, schoolers, it's that time of year, time to make that New Year's resolution to grow or start your school community. And we're going to talk about sales, how to make them ethically, and how to get people to purchase your services. So most people think that selling, that it's just some type of persuasion, but in reality, it's the brain reacting. It doesn't buy because it's convinced. It actually allows you to purchase something because it feels safe, clear, and free to choose. So once you understand that, selling starts to happen naturally. So if you've ever felt uncomfortable selling or instantly turned off by sales tactics yourself, that reaction is not random, it's psychological. So I do have a mental health community and I'm certified to teach psychology. So the psychology of selling. So selling is not about personality or charisma. It's about how the human brain processes trust, risk, and the meaning. And the most effective selling isn't loud or aggressive. It's regulated, transparent, and ethical. So how does our brain actually decide whether we purchase or run away from it? So what most people don't realize, decision making starts emotionally, not logically. You have to have that like emotional connection to something. You need to feel that a need is being served. So the limbic system will scan first for safety and also the relevance. Only after that does it decide rationally. The brain starts taking steps to justify the choice. So that means when somebody doesn't buy, it's rarely because they don't understand the offer. It's because something didn't feel settled within themselves. So ethical selling supports the internal clarity instead of overriding it. So pressure will backfire. When sales start to feel pushy, the nervous system interprets it as a threat. Even if you're well meaning, like, no, you do need this, they take it as a threat. And this can happen in relationships too, with the anxious and avoidant. So once the threat response activates, curiosity starts to shut down, logic shuts down, and people don't become more likely to buy, they become more likely to protect themselves. And that's when they stop answering phone calls or answering questions or avoiding you altogether. So high pressure tactics may work short term, but they will destroy the trust long term. Resentment will start to build, anger. So the body remembers how it felt, even when the mind tries to rationalize the purchase. And overt selling, and that's when it's like out in the open, clarity without apology. Overt selling is just simply being clear. You name the offer, the outcome, the price, and the boundaries. Nothing's hidden. Nothing is exaggerated. It's complete honesty, full transparency. Psychologically, this can work because the clarity lowers the cognitive overload. Your brain is not trying to process and weed through what is true, what isn't. Do we need it? Do we not need it? And it allows the brain to relax when it doesn't have to fill in gaps. That's why it's important not to leave out missing details. Go over everything. Ethically, overt selling becomes a problem only when urgency or scarcity is fabricated. Real deadlines are honest, but fake ones start to erode trust. So if somebody is going to buy it, and that's the last one, if you're honest about it, that helps build trust. But when you have 50 in stock and you just keep saying it and just saying it to every customer that comes in, nobody's going to trust what you have to say. Covert selling happens below conscious awareness. Covert, I think of covered, kind of hidden. So through storytelling, authority, social proof, and framing. So these aren't manipulative by default. They're how humans naturally learn and decide. So the ethical line is crossed when emotion is used to bypass consent rather than support understanding. So if you start saying something like, well, you want to be a good mother, you want your child to love you, right? You should buy this PlayStation or Nintendo. And kind of guilt tripping somebody. So the influence should guide attention, not remove their agency, not remove their thought process or their autonomy in making decisions. So if somebody would feel misled after the fact, the technique that you used was not ethical. Try to remain ethical for repeat purchases, also your reputation, word of mouth. is great advertising, but it can also destroy you. So ethical selling means the buyer understands what they're saying yes to, and they feel equally free to say no. From a psychological strand, I'm sorry, I'm so tongue-tied. From a psychological standpoint, autonomy reduces buyer's remorse and increases long-term satisfaction. People don't regret informed decisions. They regret feeling rushed or misled. Highly aware audiences don't want hype. They want context. So it's not about a big show. It's about what's the real deal. They can feel manipulation instantly, but they deeply respect transparency. So for this audience, selling works best when it feels like an invitation to evaluate rather than a push to comply. So you're not trying to close, you're opening a space for discernment, non-salesy calls to action that can actually work for you. So instead of telling people what to do, give them permission to choose. People like to have that control. Once they feel it's their decision, they're not going to blame you. They're going to have to internalize what they did. So try language like, if this supports where you are, the details are below, allow them to choose. Or you could say, this may or may not be right for you. Take what's useful. Allow them to say, well, this is what I want, this isn't. Explore it further, only if it feels aligned. So you can tell them, we can go deeper in this if it's something you're interested in. Kind of get those mini little wins to help guide them where they have these little choices. Is this something I want to learn more about? Instead of, you need to hear this, and you start lecturing them. So ethical selling, it's not persuasion. It's about clarity, consent, and respect for what people actually do decide. When selling feels calm, informed, and honest, it stops feeling like pressure and starts to feel like service. So remember, your buyers are your friends, and you want to make them feel comfortable. You want them to own the purchase where they feel confident that they trusted the right person, and that builds loyalty and satisfaction all around. Good luck on your selling journey, and I'll have a link in the comments and bio if you'd like to start your own Skool community. Skool Network is here to help you.